Take a good look at this moment. Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelenskyy, two leaders locked in a standoff. For me, this isn't just a snapshot of political theater. It's a window into a deeper mess that's been brewing for years. I've got a deep respect and concern for the Ukrainian people, citizens caught in a brutal conflict they didn't ask for. But when it comes to the Ukrainian government, I don't trust them. Not one bit. And their past ties to the Biden administration only fuel that skepticism. Let me break it down for you, step by step, with the facts as I see them, and then I'll throw it back to you to tell me where I've got it wrong. Let's start with Trump's first impeachment. Back in 2019, it all hinged on a July 25th phone call between Trump and Zelenskyy. Trump asked about corruption in Ukraine, specifically ties to the United States. He brought up Joe Biden and his son Hunter, who'd landed a cushy board seat at Burisma Holdings, a Ukrainian energy company, pulling in $50,000 a month starting in May 2014. This was right after the Obama administration, with then Vice President Biden at the helm of Ukraine policy, was pushing to support the post-revolution government. Trump wanted to know why Biden had leaned on Ukraine in 2015 to fire their prosecutor general, Viktor Shokin. Shokin had inherited an investigation into Burisma's owner, Mykola Zlochevsky, over corruption allegations, money laundering, tax evasion, you name it. Biden famously bragged in 2018 at a Council on Foreign Relations event, "I told them, if the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the $1 billion in loan guarantees." And guess what? Shokin was out by March 2016. Now, the official line is that Shokin was corrupt, wasn't doing his job, and the US, EU, and IMF all wanted him gone to clean up Ukraine. Fair enough. Shokin's deputy, Vitaly Kasko, even said the Burisma probe was dormant by then. But here's where it gets murky. Hunter Biden's role at Burisma raised eyebrows. Even some Obama officials, like George Kent at the State Department, flagged it as a conflict of interest in 2015. Biden says he never talked to Hunter about it, but the optics? Terrible. And Trump, in that call, smelled a rat, enough to risk impeachment over it.
He froze $400 million in congressionally approved military aid, allegedly to pressure Zelenskyy into digging up dirt on the Bidens. That's the quid pro quo Democrats pinned on him, leading to his December 2019 impeachment by the House. But let's widen the lens. I'm against funding what looks like a proxy war between Russia and the US, especially with zero accountability for the cash we're pouring in. Since Russia's invasion kicked off in February 2022, the U.S. has committed about $175 billion to Ukraine, military aid, humanitarian support, the works by late 2024 estimates from the Congressional Research Service. Yet Zelensky's claimed in interviews, like one with CNN in September 2024, that Ukraine's only seen around $75 billion of it. That leaves $100 billion, give or take, unaccounted for. Where'd it go? Contractors? Corruption? No one's saying, and that's a problem. The U.S. taxpayer's on the hook, and I'm not convinced this war couldn't have been avoided. Then there's the Biden administration's moves. They greenlit Russia's Nord Stream 2 pipeline to Germany in July 2021, lifting sanctions despite Ukraine's protests. Ironic, given their push for Ukraine's NATO membership, a red line for Putin since talks ramped up in 2021. NATO's 2008 Bucharest summit already promised Ukraine a path in, but Biden's team doubled down, even as Putin massed troops. Then, in September 2022, Nord Stream gets sabotaged. Underwater explosions, no clear culprit. Biden had said earlier that year, if Russia invades, there will be no Nord Stream 2. Coincidence? Maybe, but I'm not sold that the administration's hands are clean. Ukraine's government, with its history of corruption, ranked 104 out of 180 on Transparency International's 2023 Corruption Perceptions Index. Feels like it's grifting us, colluding with insiders to bleed American funds under the guise of war. So here's my take. Ukrainian citizens deserve better, but their government's playing a game with Biden's crew, a game Trump tried to call out, however messy his methods. I see a war propped up by unaccounted billions, shady deals, and geopolitical chess moves that didn't have to happen. Prove me wrong. Drop your rebuttal in the comments. Bring facts, not feelings. Where's the $100 billion? Was Biden's Ukraine policy really just anti-corruption, or was it personal?
Was this war inevitable, or did NATO and Nord Stream blunders light the fuse? I'm listening.
He flies through the sky, shield held high, defender of the people, lightning in his eye, with strength in his heart and courage ablaze. He fights for the free, lights up the dark day.